In 1958, physicist William Higginbotham invented the first video game to liven up a science convention. Nearly 60 years later, video gaming has turned into a worldwide epidemic. From the invention of Pong, to the creation of Atari, to the building of arcades and at-home game consoles, gaming has taken on a life of its own, changing from a hobby to a career for some. I sat down with director of GSU's eSports program to learn more.
eSports has been around probably, depending on how you define it, probably since 2000 with StarCraft in Korea. In the United States, it's a little more recent. I'd say maybe 2010 is when it really started to take off. One of the really, really big events is obviously League of Legends. That started in 2011, but it really started with sort of like the Season 2 World Final, was where the prize pool got really big and the number of people watching got really big, so that would have been 2012.
With the growth of online gaming, Georgia State has joined 33 other schools in providing an esports team for the National Association of Collegiate Esports. I spoke with a few members of the team to see how they got into the gaming community.
Mainly just started out with just getting a computer and then play those simple online games, like cool map games. Just start off at there and then progressively you find something that you want to be more interested in.
Racing games. So I'm a huge car guy. I grew up with Gran Turismo, Mario Kart, Forza, everything.
I've been playing video games since I was 4 years old. I had an older brother who introduced me to video games, so we'd play Halo together, Street Fighter, console games, basically.
Brawlhalla, Smite, and League of Legends are the primary games that Georgia State's eSport team plays.
Which is a multiplayer online battle arena. So you have a team of 5 people competing on a map to basically take down the enemy team, competing for resources over the map, trying to take down. Usually there are some form of tower or turret defending an enemy base, and the goal of the game is to break into the enemy base and destroy something.
I've been playing Smite for about, I want to say, maybe 4 or 5 years now. I'm the mid laner for the team, which means I typically play the glass cannon kind of mages. My job's usually to do as much damage as possible, try and make big plays, stuff like that.
There has been much debate about competitive gaming being a sport. ESPN recently faced backlash after broadcasting an esports tournament on their network. According to a survey done by Sports Blog Nation, less than 25% of Americans consider competitive gaming a sport. We asked Georgia State's team to see how they felt about it.
I definitely think video games are a sport, 100%. I think we are athletes, but in a different sense, because with the traditional athletes, the basketball players, the football players, they put a lot of time into really increasing their own personal physical ability. But what a lot of people don't realize about these professional video game players is that it takes a lot of mental endurance.
I think esports is just as much a contest of skill and ability as any of the others. And I honestly don't think that the degree of physical exertion has really anything to do with whether or not something is a sport. I could say some very mean things about golf.
I later talked to senior basketball player Jordan Tyson to get the perspective from a traditional athlete.
I would say more than anything there, you always have those, especially professional athletes, who will say the game is 90% mental. I would say more than anything they're mental athletes. Honestly, that's really hand-eye coordination too, though, if you think about it, because you get to a point where you're not even looking at it, you're just going like that. I know that's how I am with 2K, NBA 2K. So yeah, I'll consider them athletes, but mainly mental athletes. Especially because you could play until your brain doesn't work anymore.
Georgia State's eSport team is made up of mostly freshmen, but the team is confident that their bond will grow the more they play together.
I think now it's a lot better than it used to be. When we first started out, we were just getting manhandled, not doing the best, but kind of as we started playing more together, then we kind of started working better together. And so it's not the best right now, but it's improving, which is the important part.
Tell y'all guys about it. With GSU TV, I am Bernard Malone.